exciting action every week, from the courts, to the range, to the water, and to the fields. U of O Eagle Sports is everywhere and all the time. This is U of O Eagle Sports Weekly with your host, Sports Information Director, and all-around Superman, Josh Pettis.
We welcome you to the U of O Sports Weekly Show. I'm your host, Josh Peppis, and I'll be all semester giving you scores, schedules, highlights, interviewing coaches, and much, much more right here on the U of O Sports Weekly Show. Well, it was another busy weekend for Eagle Athletics. Let's take a look at the scores from Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Let's start off with baseball, a doubleheader on Friday against Howard Payne, and the Eagles sweep that doubleheader, and softball was in action also against Howard Payne on the road. Howard Payne takes that one 10-0, game 2, 5-4. Saturday, it was a wild 14 inning affair for baseball. The Eagles take that one 12-11. On the road, though, the softball team pulls out a 7-5 win over Howard Payne University. Also on Saturday, women's soccer lost a heartbreaker to Hendricks. Hendricks scores with 59 seconds left in the second overtime to defeat the Eagles 1-0. Men's soccer, however, had an overtime victory as Kyle Seymour headed in a goal to give the Eagles a 1-0 win over Hendricks. Also on the road, men's and women's tennis, they went to Texas. The men's team took a 7-2 victory over Mary Hardin Baylor, but lost narrowly to Austin College 5-4. UT Dallas defeats them 9-0. In women's play, Mary Hardin Baylor takes a 7-2 win, and Austin College, again with a small victory, 5-4. UT Dallas defeats the women's tennis team 9-0. In women's basketball on Saturday, they were on the road. McMurray takes a 70-56 win. And in men's basketball action, a huge win as the Eagles defeat McMurray 75-58 to clinch the ASC East Division title for the men's basketball program. On Sunday, there was also Eagle Athletics as the men's and women's clay target team wrapped up 2 days at the Arkansas Collegiate Shoot, where they won first place as well as many individual awards, so congratulations to them. Also on Sunday, wrestling hosted Ouachita Baptist in a scrimmage. There were no team scores taken, but that was their first match of the season. That wraps up all the Eagle action from over the weekend. And we will be talking with head men's basketball coach Travis Carruthers next on the season they've had, their championship, and preview a big playoff home game this coming week. We'll have more right after this break.
Go. We gotta finish today's job, boys.
Coach Travis Carruthers with us on the show today. Coach, thanks for joining us.
I appreciate you having me here today.
And what a season it's been, Coach. You guys, like I said, clinched the ASC East Division with a win over McMurray on Saturday. Congratulations on that victory and the championship.
Thank you very much. It was a wonderful weekend.
Yeah, so let's get into the season. You know, history is made as well, as this is the first division title for the program since the university joined the ASC way back in the mid-1990s. What does that mean to the program?
Well, it's a big stepping stone, and we are hoping that this is the standard. When I came here 4 years ago, we talked about winning championships, and my hope is that we can sustain this, and this is just the start for U of O men's basketball.
I'm sure it was quite a celebration Saturday in the locker room. You know,
It was fun.
Yeah, I'm sure. What did you tell the guys, or what did you talk about in the locker room after the game?
Well, to enjoy the moment. That's been a big sticking point for us, especially this year. If there's one thing that I hope that our guys get out of this year, this season, is to enjoy these opportunities and to cherish the moments, because they are special and they don't come along all the time. So that was one thing, and the other thing is we've got bigger fish to fry. You know, we're not done with this season yet. We've accomplished a big goal, but we still have work to do.
You know, some coaches may point to a turning point in the season or something like that. Is there something you can think of where it may have clicked during the year?
Well, there's a couple of things. I think first off, when my wife and I tested positive for COVID in early January, and luckily there was no contact tracing with my guys because of the timetable, and they practiced by themselves, not having an assistant. I FaceTime with my guys before and after practice for 7 straight days, and they worked their tails off, and they had no choice but to take responsibility for the team at that point. It's crazy to say that we were prepping for a game and I wasn't able to be there. So early January was definitely a growth step for our guys. And then sometime in mid-January, right before we went to East Texas Baptist, we talked again about taking accountability and responsibility for what we were about to come into. ETBU had beat us earlier in the year, and we were bound and determined to go and get the game on the road, and we did. And you know, although we lost the Saturday game after that, I think that was a big moment for us.
You mentioned the word special about the title. I'll use the word special describing your seniors. What have those guys meant to the program?
You know, I could go on for a long time talking about my 6 seniors, 4 of which have been with me for 4 years, and then Darnell for 3 years and Seth for the past 2. But there's been lots of ups and downs over the past 4 years, and their resilience, their loyalty, their leadership skills have grown tremendously, and I can't say enough good things about that group.
Yeah, and as a fan, it's obvious to me when you watch them play, they're absolutely together and in unity. Talk about why that's important.
Well, we talk all the time about who we are is so much more important than just the basketball. You know, overcoming adversity, being together through it all, whether it's good or bad, having each other's back, communicating in a positive way. Those type of things take you a lot further, not only in basketball but in life, than how you can dribble a ball or shoot a 3.
You know, it's a team game, but I do want to point out at least one senior guard, point guard Bryson Johnson. You were a point guard, but Bryson is having a Player of the Year type season. You know, talk about what he's done this year.
Yeah, Bryson's been pretty amazing thus far. He's number 3 in scoring in the league, number 4 in assists, I believe, and then he's top 15 in rebounding at 5'11". So he's just, like you said, he's had a special year, and you know, he's doing it at an unselfish rate, You know, he's not forcing shots. He's really getting his teammates involved. He almost had a triple-double on Saturday night. So it's and with that, he had a big black and blue eye because he got elbowed in the face on Thursday. So he's had a really good year, and you know, our guys have rallied around him. But the best thing about him is how he has matured, and his leadership skills have just grown tremendously over the 4 years that he's been here. To see the joy in his eyes after some big wins, and him celebrate with his teammates, it's been really special, really fun.
Yeah, any good basketball team is going to have good players coming off the bench. What have those guys meant to the team?
Well, you know, everyone on this team plays a role, and we talk about not really accepting your role, but excelling in your role, whatever that role is. I truly believe that no matter if you're the top scorer or the last guy on the bench, that you have to have a role of being a great teammate and being your teammate's biggest cheerleader. But you know, there's definitely been some guys that have stood out. Grayson Nix has over the past 3 weeks has really come on strong. Darnell Renelick has been just a consistent, steady player for me for 3 years, and is playing his best basketball right now as well. So yeah, I mean, I've got a good group, and you know, I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about guys like Lyndon Gibson and Elvis Jenga and others that have selflessly put the team first, and they're great teammates. They practice really hard. They compete, and if it wasn't for those guys, you know, I don't know where we'd be.
Yeah, you know, you've mentioned there's a lot of good senior leadership this year, but how else would you describe this year's team overall?
We're a tough group. We're really tough, and that's a point of pride for me. You know, when I go and I talk to those opposing coaches before the game or after the game, and their first word out of their mouth is, "Coach, your team is tough." You know, they're probably sick of me grinning because my guys are just tough. There's not a lot that has affected them. You know, a call goes against us every once in a while, and we get you know, we don't like that, right? Because we never foul. You know, the referees are always wrong. But when it boils down to it, we've come through adversity, and we've been better for it.
Mm-hmm. Talk about toughness. Let's talk about mental toughness. Let's go back to before the year began with the preseason poll. You know, we weren't picked the highest, and here we
were picked the lowest.
That's right.
We were picked 6 out of 6.
That's right. So y'all have done basically from last, supposedly in a preseason poll, to now first. Is that something that you brought up a lot, or I know the guys were motivated by that? How did you handle that?
It is what it is. It's someone's opinion. It's not something I control, so I don't worry about it. It was definitely bulletin board material for my guys. I didn't talk a lot about it, but my guys did. I think each one of them had it on their phone about where the other coaches and SIDs picked us. And when it came down to last weekend, and we talked about you know, going on the road to get things done, there were multiple times when our guys rallied around that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. All right, the focus now turns to your playoff game. What an opportunity it is for you and your team. You're hosting LeTourneau University in the quarterfinals right here Wednesday, 6 o'clock. What's it going to take to defeat LeTourneau?
Well, you know, we went on the road to LeTourneau, and they beat us by 22. They played well, and we did not play well. So I think our guys will be ready to play when it comes Wednesday. I'm hoping that we can get the jitters and our emotions in check early, because I think it's going to be a very emotional game for our guys. I'm hoping like heck that our students show up and we have a rocking crowd on Wednesday. You know, our guys have been really good playing here in the Eagles Nest, Our guys, they take a lot of pride in holding this thing down. But LeTourneau's good. They have a really good freshman point guard. They have a really good, two really good juniors. One of them plays in the post and one of them plays on the wing. And they have a good amount of role guys that just play their role. So, you know, it's I don't know exactly what it's going to take. I know we have to control their point guard. And I know we have to limit their post kid argue. And I know that we have to limit number 4's catch and shoot ability. But how the game's going to shape up, I don't know. I don't know, because LeTourneau's played 2 games since we played them a month ago due to COVID. So it's you know, it's going to be a challenge, but we haven't backed down from a challenge one time this year. And I tell you, there's not a better place to play a home game than right here in Clarksville, Arkansas.
Yeah, it's a unique arena. It's the acoustics. It gets really loud. The student section, the fans are right on close to the floor. It's a tough place to play. You've been in a tournament situation as a player, as an assistant coach, many, many, many times. So what advice will you give the team as you hopefully win and go throughout the week and weekend?
Well, first and foremost, we control, we think about one game at a time. One of my sticking points yesterday was we can't worry about the weekend until we worry about Wednesday. And so our complete focus, once I woke up Sunday morning, was how do we get ready for LeTourneau? So we take it one game at a time, and we're hoping to come out on top and then host the semis on Sunday and championship on Monday. So, you know, I think the biggest part of it, and I've been on both sides. I won a championship on the road when I was a player with 5 fans, you know, there to support us. And I've won and lost while I've been at home. So it's you can't put a price tag on the advantage of being at home and sleeping in your own bed and eating your own food and having your own routine, and then to have the fan support. You know, there's not going to be a lot of people from our conference coming up here, and we've got to take full advantage of that.
Right. Coaching, it's not just a job. It's a lifestyle. You have a really supportive wife who brings your young son. Just talk about what that support means from home, and what did your son tell you after you came home late Saturday night or early Sunday morning about the game?
Yeah, so you're right. You're right. It's you know, Sydney calls all the guys her guys, right? Like she loves them. But I tell you, this year has been more challenging for her than any other year. And first off, she's 8 months pregnant now. But secondly, I don't have an assistant to talk to. So I come home and I start talking about the game or practice or these guys. And in the past, she has kind of put the kibosh on it and said, Travis, you have an assistant to talk about this. And now this year she's listened, and she hasn't said much, right? But she's listened to me, and that's been a big blessing. And then, man, having Pierce is about to turn 3, and let's see, we got home at about 3:30 or so Sunday morning, and you know, by about 4:15 I'm falling asleep, and 6 a.m. Harry comes and grabbed me at the face, and he was excited that I was back. So we were playing Super Pierce and Bat Dad about 6:30 that morning.
Oh, that's great, great. Coach, again, congratulations. Thanks for joining us, and good luck in the playoffs.
I appreciate it, Josh, and thank you guys for having me, and I hope that we see a lot of smiling faces and loud fans on Wednesday night.
That's right. We'll have more of the show right after this.
I did receive a non-athletic scholarship upon entering school.
I got the presidential scholarship, which was huge for me.
I think there's more opportunities for academic scholarships in Division III.
I did receive academic scholarships. Just being involved on campus, being a leader, all those things combined kind of get me recognized. It's a great experience for me.
Coach Carruthers, before we let you go, let's take a look at Saturday's, clinching victory that clinched the ASC East Division. That was a game on the road in Abilene against McMurray University. Let's roll that clip right now and have you talk about
it. Right here, getting the steal, getting our hands on the ball, and Bryson using his ball skills to get all the way to the rim. He's got some jets on his feet. So here's in transition, good ball movement here. Tim Turpin, a good ready shooter. It's nice to see him knock down a few. Here again, getting the defense moving, forcing two. Got a good shot, missed it, but then these extra opportunities are big for us. Here's Grayson Nix. He's done a great job off the bench. And then late in the game, Bryson take it upon himself to get into the teeth of the defense and finish. Yeah, we had some really good moments. You know, in all honesty, we didn't play that well, especially in the second half. But man, that first half we came ready, and we forced them to get a timeout maybe 2 minutes into the game, and it was just you know, we had built enough of a cushion to kind of hang on there during the second half. So.
What a sweet win, Coach.
It was, and you know, we had a huge win on Thursday night too at Hardin-Simmons, who is one of the top teams in the league. If we don't win that game, and then the game before that, we hosted UT Dallas, who we hadn't beaten in I don't know how long. So we've put together a good string of games, and we're hoping to continue the momentum here this week.
All right, one last question. Why don't you explain to the fans how the tournament works and the ticket situation?
Yeah, so we are the #1 seed on the East in the East Division. So we host LeTourneau. There's going to be 3 other quarterfinal games taking place all in Texas. And if we win Wednesday, we will host the Final 4 on Sunday, with the championship game being Monday evening. So you know, the schedule is yet to happen. There's a lot to be determined. But if we win Wednesday, we will host the semifinals Sunday afternoon and the finals on Monday evening. In order to purchase tickets, you do need to reserve a ticket. It is free, and you can find that on our website at uofathletics.com and search for men's basketball schedule, and a link to an Eventbrite link will take you to the ticket page.
Thanks again, Coach. We appreciate it.
I appreciate you, Josh.
And we will preview men's and women's wrestling right after this message.
I did receive a non-athletic scholarship upon entering school.
I got the presidential scholarship, which was huge for me.
I think there's more opportunities for academic scholarships in Division III.
I did receive academic scholarships. Just being involved on campus, being a leader, all those things combined kind of get me recognized. It's a great experience for me.
As we mentioned earlier, men's and women's wrestling, they started their season on Sunday against Ouachita Baptist. We talked with head men's and women's wrestling coach Leroy Gardner earlier in the season about his teams and prospects for the year, and he talked about the university's newest sport, women's wrestling. So here's this preview with Coach Leroy Gardner.
We had separate groups, just with team size, just to minimize the potential for us getting, shut down for practice. The masks and physical distancing was required for everything. But I guess when we're in wrestling, right? Because we really, there's no way around the physical contact when wrestling. So it was just making sure all those other times when we're like at study hall or if we're out and about with the team, just trying to minimize the risk that someone gets it and spreads the team and then we're shut down. I think it's just a microcosm of exercising, controlling the controllables, and that's really what we've used it as. Is this is a situation where it's extremely out of our control. So we're going to focus on the things we can control. So lifting, getting extra times in the weight room, and I think that's something that we've seen them take advantage of. study hall. I think we've seen some guys, who really have tried to like focus on the school side of it. And it's again, in the challenge that is kind of the environment, trying to focus on the things that we can control. And so that's we've seen the guys and the ladies take advantage of that. Also, not having to worry as much about looming competition means for most of them that they can focus on like nutrition in the way of they don't have to worry about being down at the weight class and keeping that extra body fat percentage low than otherwise they would be in regular life. So the ladies that are with us are excited and they're really on fire about wrestling. They love it and they're just trying to balance it and learn it, just like a lot of us, because it's pretty new. So I think that's one thing that I've been excited about, is see them be so excited about college wrestling. Vinny Barber's doing a good job as assistant, and so having us all good and strong on the men's side allows me to also help Charlotte and I focus a little bit on the ladies as far as recruiting and stuff like that. So we're just really excited to have a full staff and people motivated about where we're going and excited about the future. And I think that feeds over to the student athletes. So.
Segment of the show, we will preview the upcoming games this week. As we've talked to Coach Carruthers, Wednesday night, of course, a big game. Men's basketball will host Laterno University in the ASC playoffs. That's 6 o'clock right here at Maybe Gymnasium. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the baseball team will host Nebraska Wesleyan. Also on Friday, men's and women's soccer will host East Texas Baptist University, 11:30 a.m. kickoff for the women's team, and that will also be senior day. Women's and men's tennis will host John Brown. That's a 4 o'clock start, and that is also senior day for the tennis program. Softball will host University of Dallas in a doubleheader on Saturday, and that as well will be senior day for the softball program. Thank you for joining us, and again, we want to thank our Media 2 class for producing the show. See you next time, and go Eagles!